Okay, just because something is simple doesn't mean it's easy. Let's head over to the swamp and make chipping as simple and easy as possible. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the swamp. All right, chipping should absolutely be the easiest shot we play in this game, but we seem to turn it into the hardest. You know, here's what I thought most of my bad chips, you know what I mean by bad chips, you know, sculling them across the green or chili dipping them 2 or 3 feet in front of us, you know, whatever. You know, I used to think as long as I kept my head still that it would take care of that, but well, that helps some, but it still happened way too often. Then I realized it wasn't about keeping your head still, it was about the root cause of what makes our heads move, and that's our hips. Here's what should happen in a good basic chipping stroke. You know, it starts with the shoulders. They set up the stroke line. It's not really a straight line, but you can think of it like that. Well, now watch what happens when I turn my hips just a little bit. Well, you can see now that line is way off. You know, and I say hips because, you know, when I turn my hips, my sternum turns with it. That's what you can't let happen. It's our sternum, you know, our navel, this whole center section or area that has to stay still. As soon as it turns, that original line changes, and as you can see, you know, being off doesn't look like much here, but up at the target, that's a mile off. You know, and our minds and eyes sense this, and they'll try to do whatever it takes to get back online. It's almost like our bodies panic and go into like mini convulsions. You know, that's when the club goes through, and it seems like we don't even see it happen. Like everything just goes blank. You've got to know what I mean by that. First, you have to understand that a chip is not a smaller version of a full swing. You know, it's a completely different animal. You know, the same way a bunt in baseball is totally different than swinging at the ball. And it's not a bigger version of a putt either. You know, in putting, you're kind of rocking your shoulders up and down. But in a chip, you actually turn them. You know, just the shoulders though, without any other body movements, especially the upper body and the chest. You know, here's what it looks like. Now, my shoulders aren't actually turning. It's more like they're just stretching out. You know, on the way back, this one stretches out, and on the way through, that one stretches out. So it appears that they're turning, you know, but that's what it takes to keep that V shape, this V, intact, you know, and which is crucial. You know, both arms have to stay straight. And keep in mind, the shoulders are not a power source. You know, our arms are more than enough for this small, short, little stroke. Okay, here's what it looks like hitting balls. And, you know, you can see they're all pretty much going to the same spot. Now I'll hit some in the front view. You can see it better like that. And notice, you know, my arms will stay straight. You know, that V never changes, and absolutely no wrists involved. It doesn't matter how you set your wrists. You can set them like this, anywhere, you know, as long as they don't change throughout the entire stroke. You know, and most importantly, this sternum area doesn't move. You know, and that means any turning or moving left to right or up and down. Well, that's about it in a nutshell. I said it was simple, but I also said it wasn't easy. Here's a couple things that'll help make it easier though. You know, first off, unlike every other shot in golf, you can be stiff and rigid doing this, and it works just as good, as long as you stay stiff and rigid like that throughout the whole swing. You know, another thing is you can set up your feet however you want. It really doesn't matter. You know, I set up open with all of my shots, but as long as I keep set get my shoulder line up with the target line, you know, I'll be fine. And because none of this is moving or turning, you know, it makes it really easy to keep your head still, which is also very important with this. All right, I just wanted to make a couple points here in closing. First of all, you got to know that nothing works all the time. That's just the way things are. You know, another thing is you can chip while turning your body, but the timing has to be dang near perfect for everything to work right. And how often does that happen? And finally, you know how I'm usually showing you things not to do in a swing, or more accurately, things that don't need to be done. Well, this is no different. I'm still trying to eliminate any useless or harmful moves. Well, that's about it. Hope you liked what I said. Any comments or questions, you know what to do. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe and like. Until next time, see you at the swamp.